Hello, everybody. We are doing our mindset session, and the mindset session is dedicated to goals for 2023. And it's such a shame, excuse me, it's such a shame that you guys are not here with me. I really wanted last night's session to happen and for us to interact about it, because I wanted us to kind of talk about our goals and fill in our goals and spark certain ideas as we are sitting together, to then do it simultaneously and make it almost a group work where we kind of share the same energy and focus, but we do it individually, looking into what we want to achieve this year. Now, as part of what I wanted and for what it has become, obviously we have a positive, because no longer will we have any internet issues. So I adapted the session slightly, and I thought of the categories, and I wanted to introduce to you what we would do in a group from now on. So one thing that I want to introduce as part of our goals of 2023 is for us to review every single month. And we are going to do a review session, which potentially is going to be part of our webinar or our mindset session. It doesn't really matter which way around or which one it is, but it is really necessary, because from my perspective as your coach, I really want you to get closer to your 2023 goals. But not only that, I want to monitor that with you, and I want to help you to achieve your milestones. And the milestones, if we are using my worksheets, are set to be every 2 months. Of course, you can have a quarterly milestone as well, but I want to make it a process where month by month we are monitoring the progress. And again, it's not about the perfection, it is about the progress. So it's not really about underachieving or overachieving. It is about implementing positive behaviors and behaviors that are going to get you towards where you want to be, essentially, and what you want to achieve under different spectrums in your life. So those reviews will be looking at the technical side of things, and we will be also looking at the mindset side of things. So, the way I see it, and of course we will adapt it based on how we do or any of your suggestions, but the way I see it is every month, as many of us that can sit down together and just talk and say, this month I found X, Y, and Z challenging in the markets. I found that I've become liquidity on most of my positions, and actually my data is showing me that as well. Or you may say, actually during this month I've got my highest return month, I can't believe it. Or you may find, even though I have decent return on this month, emotionally I found it really challenging. Or you may say, do you know what, I need to review my morning routine. This is what I'm doing at the moment, but I feel like throughout the day I get so tired, and I feel like I need to adapt it. So what are your ideas? So we can really be open with each other, and I can also reflect my own performance with you, because as a coach, I know for a fact that I need to look after myself, and you as traders, I always tell you that you need to look after yourself. So anything on your priority list, which we are going to go into the categories, but anything on your priority list always should be about you, because without you, trading doesn't exist. Without you, none of your goals exist. So you really have to ensure that you are looking after yourself and your well-being in terms of mental health, physical health, in all possible ways. It's extremely, extremely important. The same I have to do, because in order for me to be a good guide for you, and in order for me to preserve my energy and provide the best to you, I need to give the best to myself first, to look after myself and to preserve my skills and my energy. Now, I don't really have an accountability partner. My accountability partner happens to be me. So I educate myself. I always do new courses in terms of mindset. I always dig in deeper into the charts. I always learn the technicals. I do everything. But you guys are also my accountability partners, because I want to be fully transparent with you what it is like to be a full-time trader. Because I would say my job is 50-50. I'm a coach and a trader, but I am a trader, and people think that perhaps when you become a full-time trader, that's it, you have made it, you made a clean cut. No, it comes with its own challenges. And I want to show you the maintenance of the skill. It's gonna come into play all the time. There is not going to be such time when you will say, do you know what, I'm done, I know everything now. Yes, perhaps certain things become easier. Yes, perhaps you will have better understanding of things, but overall, you will always cultivate your trading skill and your mindset skill. Now, as we are talking about that, number one thing before we go into the categories under that I want you to review yourself for this year and kind of plan this year, I want to highlight how important mindset is. And this year, I'm going to spend even more time focusing on mindset, and I will prioritize mindset sessions over any sessions, because without the correct mindset, without your mind feeling at ease and feeling calm and feeling peaceful, you will not receive what you set yourself out to achieve, because our mindset is responsible for the information that we consume. So we can consume any type of information, whether you're learning something about the markets, even about the mindset, about anything really. If your mind feels like there is chaos happening there, you feel agitated, nervous, burnt out, etc., the quality of the information that is going to be provided to you could be of the highest standard, but if you do not feel well within yourself, you're not going to receive that information and you're not going to learn from it the essence of that information. So the way you will learn things in the markets, the way you will learn things about yourself, the way you are going to control your emotions, the way you're going to respond to your environment, the way you are going to respond to the things that are happening in your environment or on the charts, is all dictated by the state of your mind. So this is why it is so important to do everything we can in our power to put our mind at peace. So our mind feels peaceful, collected, ready, calm, that we know that things are in place. And it will still happen that your mind will start running, because we can't set out a plan for a year and in that year everything is going to go nice and smooth. Of course not. Life comes with challenges. And that's how life's supposed to be, in fact, because otherwise we would never learn, we would never grow, we would never push ourselves. But what we want to do is we want to have tools that we remember about, that are embedded in our conscious mind, that when the challenge comes, or when your mind will start running and you will start feeling anxious about something, you know what to do in order to manage yourself and to decrease that feeling of anxiety. So I will give you a few examples. For example, one of the major factors that affects traders' ability to trade or rush things in a market is finances. And it is understandable, because finances run the world. Finances give us safety, give us shelter, give us food, provide safety for the loved ones, etc., etc. So, of course, if you are worried about finances for whatever reason in your life, that is going to impact the way you perceive the information in the markets, because you may start rushing things in the markets in order to receive that reward. But obviously, we know that's not the way forward, because that can really cloud your potential, because you will start entering trades that are actually not your trades and you will start rushing things, and we know that's not the way forward. So even if perhaps your financial situation may not be as stable as you would like it to be, but I believe it's still manageable. Of course, if it's not, then reach out to all of us, speak to us. There are always ways of helping, one another, and we can help you to explore ideas, etc., etc. But there is always a way. There is always a solution, because life offers us those challenges for us to implement all the skills that we have learned about ourselves and all the skills that we have learned to practice in those challenging situations for that moment. Because again, it's easy to be knowledgeable and to be mindful and to be calm when everything goes smooth. No, you are going to really test yourself during those challenging situations when things are not the best. And this is where you have to put all of those practices that you have learned over a long period of time about your personal development and put it into place. Now, one of the things that I would want you to really remember about how to stop your mind from running is to write things down, whether that is on your phone, whether it's a text message to yourself, whether it is pen to paper. Whatever the technique is, it doesn't really matter. But if, for instance, your mind is worried about the finances, then say to yourself, I have noticed that in the past few days, I have been really worried about the finances. And I understand why I might be worried about the finances, because 2 weeks ago, it was end of the year, and I had to pay all of my taxes, for example, or I had to buy Christmas presents for everyone. And Christmas did cost me a lot because the whole family came to me, or whatever that might be. So I do understand that. And yes, I believe that at the moment, maybe everybody is going through some financial difficulties because of the month of December and January, but I will have money coming. Like at the moment, am I okay? And have that check with yourself. Am I okay? Yes, I am okay. I've got enough food on the table. I've got shelter above my head. My bills are paid. Everything's all right. Next month, in February or end of January, I will have to pay again. But at the moment, I'm all right. I am safe. And I know that all the things that I'm working towards take time, and I need to be patient, and I know that they will develop. Whatever that might be, whether it's about finances, whether it's about the markets, whether it's about your mind, relationship, family, another person, work, trading, anything really, always write what's on your mind. Check in with yourself. Is this actually going to affect me long term, or is it actually a temporary situation that I'm dealing with? Yes, it's unpleasant. Yes, it really pushes me outside of my comfort zone. But I also know that we grow the most outside of our comfort zone, because this is where we get to really reset ourselves, where we get to really implement those skills, like I said, and we are able to grow, stay patient, and put in the work. The best thing that you can do during challenging situations is to show up for yourself. Not for anybody else, but for yourself, and say, yes, I am going through something right now. And you might be during the year of 2023, I'm showing up for myself. This might be difficult. This might be difficult. This might be difficult, but I will still do my morning routine. I will still work on my personal development. I will still attend every mindset session that Paulina does in a group. I will still show up in the markets and do my analysis. I will still show up and do my market reviews. I will still show up and do my backtesting sessions. I will still show up and I will do another course, or I will read another book. I will still do it. I will not deviate from it only because something is hard, because good things don't come from easy things. If that was the case, we wouldn't have a lot of issues and problems in the world, but unfortunately we do. So a lot of good things actually come from hardship. And then at one point when you make it, people will say that, oh yeah, it's easy for them to say, look at them now. But, a lot of wealthy people, or people who made it and are being successful, they actually have come through a lot of struggles, and actually becoming successful, it's a struggle on its own, because it's not an actual overnight success. A lot of people who have become successful traders, entrepreneurs, or even employees, and they are kind of flourishing in their careers, it has come with a lot of dedication, and sacrifices. And those things are really important to consider. However, this is my plan. And the plan is to prepare you for everything, and to review every month, and to be raw, and to say, yes, it wasn't the best, but I've done it. But the most important thing that I want to focus on, obviously within the mindset, is on the solutions. I don't want to go back into the problems and always talk about the problems over and over again. I want to focus on the solution. How can we resolve this problem? What can we do next? What's the next step? Whether it's a failed challenge, blown account, lost job, lack of profit, feeling down, an argument with your spouse, what's the solution? Because dwelling on the problem is not going to help us with anything. Let's solve it. What's the solution? And when we focus on that solution and put a step-by-step process into place, your mind will slow down and feel like there is a guide to whatever is happening in your environment as well as internally. This is the reason for the goals, because it's a guide. It is necessary for you to be able to have that roadmap and know how many turns you will have to take before you arrive to your destination. It's very similar to using GPS, or using your, maps on your phone when you are going to a certain destination. Obviously, if you have practiced something, and if you are going to a corner shop near your house, it's very easy. You don't need it. But if you are going to a new destination, and with 2023 goals, you're going into a new destination, you're not going to the corner shop, you're not going to revisit old goals, what you already achieved. You are pushing yourself forward. Therefore, your road is becoming bigger. Your road is becoming even more demanding than it was last year. Only because you've already achieved something does not mean the next step is going to be easier. Absolutely not. It might be even harder. It might be as equally hard. Maybe it will be easier. We don't know. But in theory, it's a new destination. It's a destination that is further away. It's a destination that's unknown again. And when it's unknown, we do not know what to expect. And this is, again, the reason why we are preparing that road ahead of us. So if I was told that I need to drive half an hour into a place that I've never, ever been to before, or an hour, and it's, whether it's outside of London or in London, but I've never been there, if I'm going to just not use my map, and I'm just going to sit in my car and say, do you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get to my destination. And you know what? Instead of actually following the roadmap, I am going to speed up. I'm going to put my foot on accelerator, and I'm going to speed up only because I am going faster in my car. Does that mean I'm going to go and get to my destination? Absolutely not, because I don't even know where I'm going. And this exactly relates to trading, because the other driver who will actually put the map on and build their goals and build their milestones and follow a daily routine, even if they go 40 miles per hour, whilst I'm going 200 miles per hour, they are going to get quicker to my destination that is an hour away than me getting to that destination at all. Because only because I'm speeding up does not mean I am going to get there at all, because I don't know the road. So it is essentially a goal of traders wanting to be funded. And I'm not relating to you guys, because I know we all have the same goals and dreams, really. So it's not really about that, but it's about generally talking about traders. Traders want to be funded, but they don't have a roadmap of how they're going to get there. What they do, they by another challenge, and maybe another strategy, and talking to this person, that person, panicking, going that 200 miles per hour, but without knowing, do I take this turn? Do I take that turn? But us, we are going to go slowly in our cars at 40 miles per hour, but we exactly know when to turn left, when to pause, when to stop, when to turn right, when to take over. And eventually we will arrive at that destination. And that is the point. So now, the way I want you to look at your goals is under those categories. And this kind of relates back to the wheel of life. Do you remember when we have done a wheel of life as our, I believe, second mindset session last year? And if you haven't done it, it's recorded on a Google Drive, and you are more than welcome to watch it. But in short, the purpose of Wheel of Life is, well, it derives from psychology, and essentially what it says that those 7 categories over here, which is career, money, health, relationships, family and friends, personal growth, and physical environment, this is 1. So all of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, are essential to keep a human being happy. So essentially, the way you would look at it as a circle, and you would split that circle into even 7 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 parts. Okay, obviously they are not even, but you get what I'm trying to say here. And when you have that circle, let's try again. Let's do it like this. So they are fairly even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this is your circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7. All right, so they are all equally distributed. A person that is fully fulfilled in their life is going to be doing well, essentially, on happiness and fulfillment scale, under all of those categories. Because when one of those categories is not fully functioning and it's not looked after, this is where you wouldn't fully, as a human, be fully fulfilled and kind of live up to your own personal potential. So when you are looking at all of those categories, I would want you to take them into consideration when you are thinking about your goals for 2023, because I believe all of those things are important for you to become a consistent, a profitable, a funded, happy, satisfied, successful trader. I really believe that. If you do not look after your health, which is number 1, this is one big number 1. If you don't look after your health, your career is not going to go well. Your relationships are not going to go well. Your friends and family are not going to go well. Your personal growth is not going to go well. Everything is not going to go well. Nothing is going to go well without you and your health, which we are talking about physical health and mental health. Both of those are equally important, mental health. And all of those things, of course, will, take into consideration our fitness. It will take into consideration, our diet. It will take into consideration the consumption of, alcohol, hydration, smoking, all of those things that fall under that category. Then in terms of career, you can think about career outside of trading, but you may also want to think about trading as your career, because I would encourage you, if you are thinking about it in such a way, because I do, my career now is being a full-time trader and a coach. That's my career. Yes, I am a qualified psychologist, but that's not my career. My career is a trader and a coach, and I'm cultivating and I am utilizing rather the skill of what the psychology has given me and getting extra qualifications, but my career is that. So I want to score high in terms of being a coach and in terms of being a trader. In order for me to be a great coach and trader, I need to look after my health. It is necessary. So overall, I want you to look at all of those things and tell yourself what it is that you want to achieve under each of these categories. Okay, it is really important. And generally speaking, the exercise of the circle of life is to score yourself, to understand where you are at the moment. And it's necessary because, again, we need to bring awareness to where we are at the moment in order to know what we want to change. And then we can make a plan how we want to change it. And then we can plan out what we are going to do to change it. So it always takes those 3 steps, which is what it is under this category that I want to change. And then why I want to change it so much. Why is it so important to me to achieve that next goal? And then these things, which is what you want and why you want it, it's a dream. If you don't put things into action and say, but what do I need to do then to get this? What are the little nitty-gritty things and big things that I need to do to achieve exactly that? Okay, in terms of money, it doesn't matter whether you have a lot of money or not. It has zero to do with it. Plan it ahead as if you had it. Plan. When I'm going to be a consistent trader, I am going to put away 20% into my savings account, 20% I'm going to put into my personal account, the rest of the percentage I'm going to spend on my family, and with another I'm going to invest, or I'm going to do this, or pay my bills, or pay my that, pay da. Plan your money. You don't have to have money to plan the money. Know why you need your money. What do you need your money for? It's very easy to say, I want to make this, I want to make that. But very often when you ask those people, so what would you do with 1 million? And they like, well, I don't know. I would just have it, and I'd have a supercar, I'd have a nice house. There, I'm happy. That is very superficial. It's all right. It's all right. But it's very superficial. In order for us to stay motivated, to understand ourselves, why do you get up every morning when your alarm goes off at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m.? And when you feel tired, why do you get out of bed? Why? I want you to feel that motivation. I want you to feel that fire inside of you and say, this is why I am doing it. This is why. So all of those things are important. And relationships, look at your relationships, and that is more romantic relationships. So okay, so this is more to do with the romance, to do with a romance rather than friends and family. And this is not to say it has to exist in your life, absolutely not, but you have to make peace in whatever situation that you are in. So if you are already married, or if you have already a partner, how are you going to work on your relationship? Because it is important, especially if it's a serious relationship, and how it's going to impact you as a trader in the markets, and you as a human, and your health, and everything else. Or if you don't have a partner, are you okay with it? If you are, and say, do you know what, I want to stay single and I want to focus on myself, amazing. But just say it so you exactly know what you want, what you are after. Friends and family, you know, people around us are so important. To me, seeing my family and friends, because I live away from them, it's almost like when I'm in London, it's my hustle time. And when I go and see them, which is in north of England, I feel like, it's like a refreshment for me. It's like a reset for me. I get to spend time with them. I get to see them, and it's hugely important for me. And funny enough, I'm so bad at calling them. And it's funny because I am on Zoom for living. I coach people for living. I'm with you guys. You hear my voice more often than my family does. But because I do that for living, I'm so tired of talking at the end of the day that I'm way better at texting, and I would just text. And as I'm working, sometimes on my phone, I would text and respond to emails, respond to other people, and that's how I manage it. But I make sure I check in, I see how everyone is. But again, everybody has different goals. Everybody will have different ideas of things, and that's absolutely fine. Now, in terms of personal growth, I really want you to focus on how you are going to grow yourself. And honestly, I would say this is a number 2, because health is so important. Obviously, we need to keep ourselves healthy and intact, and that is, again, physically and mentally. But personal growth is so important because it feeds back into the mindset. And if your mindset is well, your physical health is well. I really believe that you get less sick. And, studies have shown that, for example, hypochondriacs or people who get ill more easy, etc., they generally more negative people in life, and those who are positive and see always the upside to everything, they actually would get less ill, etc. So I really believe everything is so interconnected. It's like puzzle pieces that is our job to stick together and try to put them together. So in terms of personal growth, look at the things that you want to achieve. And again, it does not have to be this big world shattering goal. I want to write a PhD in neuroscience, whatever. Just think about things such as, all right, I want to set myself a challenge to read 1 book per month. Okay, so 1 book per month is what I want to achieve. So how will I achieve it? Well, definitely don't get yourself to a stage like unprepared kids at school, which I used to be, because I used to be too focused on my athletics. But, when they cram towards the end and it's, 5 days before deadline and they're like, whoa, I need to read my book. No, we are not working like that anymore, because all of this meant to be for pleasure as well. All of this is meant to be part of your growth. Every day when I go to bed, I want to say, yes, high five, well done, Paulina, you've done well today, you've done your best. There were some areas you could have improved, but majorly you have done best. Look, when we are talking about goals, behaviors, habits, nothing can be perfect. It's not going to be that every single day you are going to be at your 100% and you are going to do everything. Oh, I've done this. And no, as long as the majority outweighs the negativity. And again, I don't want you to get to the point when you're like, well, I've done 80% of my day, fine, the rest I can just I can rest. No, I still want you to push yourself, but just remember, don't be so harsh on yourself, because it is really not about that. And here with that personal growth, again, I told you, the moment I wake up from Monday to Friday, 5:30, alarm goes off. This morning I felt so tired because obviously first week back after Christmas we all go to sleep later, this and that, it's chaos. And I was so tired, and I've made a deal with myself. 5:30 alarm goes off, I'm jumping out of bed. And this morning alarm went off and I just switched it off, closed my eyes, and I was like, oh wow, I'm falling back into my old habits of snoozing. And then I immediately jumped out of bed as I realized what was happening. And I was so proud of myself that I did not give in. And I actually got up when I was tired, not when I felt buzzed up at the start of the week, but actually on Friday when I was exhausted after the full week. And I was like, right, okay, today's rest day from the exercise, so it's fine, just get up, go meditate, it's fine. But now my point is one little step at the time. I'm gonna give you that example again, like going to the gym. If you go to the gym or you have a fitness goal, whether that is to gain muscle or to lose weight, okay, obviously, so for example, in terms of health, if you want to gain muscle, you may have completely different diets, or you definitely will, to the person that wants to lose weight. Okay, it's 100%. This person is going to eat, for example, chicken breast for breakfast or peanut butter with their chicken breast, whilst this person is going to have a banana. There will be a variation, but the point is that both of those people will have to apply consistency in terms of their diet, in terms of their hydration, and in terms of their exercise. Does that mean that every time they go to the gym, the last one is the gym, they have to spend 3 hours 7 days a week? Absolutely not, because eventually they may develop injuries, and then in terms of short term, maybe it would work for a week, 2 weeks, but then they would develop an injury. After an injury, perhaps they would have to take a month to recover, or even longer, and then they are back to square one. But what if they go to the gym and they spend an hour a day, or they spend an hour or an hour and a half, hour 5 days, and they show that consistency, and they still allow for their body to recover, but they actually spend enough time? Again, your muscles will work this way as well. So even, okay, let me give you an example. You set yourself to go to the gym 1 hour 4 days a week, so that is 4 hours per week. But imagine you did not go first, so that is 16 hours per month. So imagine you did not go first week, second week, third week, and in a fourth week you're like, I need to cram 16 hours of workout in that 1 week. That means I need to spend 4 hours every single day for 5 days, or for 4 days, sorry, to get my 16 hours. Do you think your result will be consistent? Again, no, it will result in injury. So it's about that consistency. So in personal growth, in terms of your book, all right, read 5 pages per day. 5 pages per day, 10 pages per day. And on the next slide, I'm going to talk about habits and how to develop those new habits. But first, identify what you want to achieve, so then we can develop a habitual and behavioral roadmap to how to get you there. So then if you are going to read those 10 pages or 5 pages per day every single day, so every single day we take in weekends into consideration as well. If it's 10, that would be 70 pages per week. If it's 5, that would be 35 pages per week. So that means that easily, with this, it would be 14, 21, 280 pages would be read in a month. That is potentially average book, I don't know, 300 pages, whatever you have to do, you can split it, and then you can achieve it. In terms of personal growth, what is it that you want to achieve in terms of your mindset, in terms of, here would be physical health, in terms of meditation, in terms of what any other courses, like what is it that you want to achieve, and your physical environment. And this one here, in a circle of life, we talked about, oh, do you live in a nice area, do you do this, do you do that? And obviously that is not something to consider, but physical environment could be your desk. Is your desk nice, clean, and neat? I am a bit of a free thinker, so I note things here and there, but my desk is clean. I have my notebook here, I've got my phone, I've got my 2 pens, and I've got always either my glass of water or my coffee to the side. My working space is clean, even though I am a free thinker and I could have things everywhere. Like, what is your appearance like when you sit to analyze the markets? It's really important. Do you know that studies have found, especially during pandemic, that those people who were working from home but wore shoes whilst sitting at their desk were more productive than those who were sitting without shoes and just in their socks or barefoot? Okay, so it is all about our brain and the way that our brain works, because we know that our brain works in a sophisticated way and funny way, and brain works in associations because it has to work in association, and this is the reason why we associate certain things, and that's why, I don't know, I guess certain problems prop up in our environments. But in general, when your brain sees, I don't know, a police, then immediately they may think of jail, etc., and it spirals. The reason is, and maybe that's a silly example, but the reason is everything works in combination with one another. So if, for example, you wear smart shoes, your brain will think, oh yeah, I'm going somewhere important, so I need to put in the hard work. So literally do everything that you have to do. Like, you know, your physical environment is everything how you want it to be. Like, for example, on Monday, I made sure my environment was intact for Tuesday. So I made sure everything's clean, wiped, dusted, clean, and it feels great. If I sat down at that dusty desk after 2 weeks and there was mess around me, I would not be productive. It would affect my discipline in the markets, and also the discipline that we put an effort into in our physical environment, then obviously will have an impact on us. So we want to obviously look at all of those things. I want you to look at all of those things, you know, and I want you to take all of those things into consideration when developing your new goals. And I know that majority of you will be looking at your career, which is trading. Fine. But as you are looking at your career and trading, health and personal growth are number 1 and number 2. Trading's number 3. Because again, without you, trading doesn't exist. It's not going to take place. You are important. Your mindset is important. Your physical health is important. Your personal growth is important. So you grow and you literally live up to your full potential, because your potential is endless, and the only limits that you set on yourself is by yourself, by your mind, or by the society. Don't allow for that to happen. Do not put those limits on yourself. There are no limits. You can, and you will achieve what you want. I'm telling you that, and I'm here to help you through that. Okay. So now to get there, we need to implement habits, right? So, one thing, hold on. There. All right. So habits, like with anything else, we need to build awareness about what we are doing, okay, in terms of our habits. And we know already that this lovely brain of ours has conscious, which is C, and subconscious mind. And a lot of things run in our subconscious mind. And for the good reason is because we do things without any specific effort. For example, breathing. We breathe subconsciously. I just have been talking to you for over 40 minutes. I've not once thought about breathing. It just happens automatically. My heart is beating automatically. My blood is pumping through my veins automatically. This is more biological level. But breathing is such a great example. I can also do it consciously, though, when I actually pay attention, when I breathe in, breathe out, the cold air coming in and going out, etc., etc. I can do all of that, but I can also do it on subconscious level. And this is exactly how our behaviors in markets, in our life, our home, with anything that we do, will showcase themselves majorly on subconscious level. So we are sometimes so engaged or so blinded by what we are doing that we not even notice that we are doing it. How many of you, well, I don't know actually, but we know that some people would, for example, bite their nails without even thinking. They don't think, they do it until someone says stop doing it. It's a habit. It's a subconscious habit that is not engaging the conscious mind, because it happens so many times that now it's sitting in subconscious mind and it just happens. How many times you caught yourself playing with a pen without even thinking about it? I do that a lot. It's a habit. It's something that is a habit. Now, habits are actually, you know, all serving us in some way. But what we have to do is we have to distinguish which habits are effective for us and have a short-term or long-term kind of impact on us, whilst others don't. So me playing with pen as I am talking to you, or as I am talking with others, Does it impact me? Does it impact you? Absolutely not. It doesn't impact the quality of this recording. It doesn't impact anything. If anything, perhaps it maybe is helping me because I am a hand talker and I use a lot of movements with my hands when I talk. However, if I was biting my nails, well, that would be a problem because my mouth would be full with my nails and the quality of this recording wouldn't be so good. And also, my nails wouldn't look so good. So the effectiveness of that habit essentially is negative. So what you have to do is build awareness first around your habits. What is it that you do? And is it the positive or negative of what you are doing? So I would want you to first recognize what it is that you are doing. So I give you an example, and here we're going to split it because, of course, as per previous slide, we have talked about different categories in terms of your goals, etc., etc. So here, I wanted for you to take into consideration that because you may want to build, of course, new habits in terms of your health, in terms of your appearance, in terms of your personal growth, in terms of trading mindset, your trading behaviors, etc., etc., etc. So at first, you have to recognize what it is that you are doing just by step-by-step process. So as a simple example is make a list outside of trading and on the charts as well. Okay, what is it the first thing that you do? Okay, I wake up, turn off my alarm, go to bathroom, have a cold shower, meditation. Okay. All right. Let's, add something to that list. I wake up, look at my phone. Sorry, wake up, turn off the alarm, check social media, bathroom, cold shower, meditation, coffee, water. All right. So then when you are looking at your list and what you have identified, I would want you to identify the good habit and the bad habit and the neutral habit. So wake up, neutral habit. Turn off the alarm, neutral habit. Looking at the social media, negative habit. First thing in the morning, looking at my phone, absolutely not. It is putting all that bad energy in my head and immediately my brain would feel tired. Going to the bathroom, neutral. Cold shower, positive habit. There are so many positive things out of cold showers. Meditation, positive habit. Coffee, neutral/negative, depending again on your health condition. If you have heart problem and you are still drinking coffee, it's a negative habit. If you are a healthy individual and you are drinking coffee, it's a neutral habit. Now, then water. Well, perhaps water is a positive habit, but perhaps I should switch it around and actually before my coffee, I should have my water. So can you see what we are doing here? We are identifying step by step what we are doing because again, we get so sucked into our daily routines, which we know that brain loves a routine. We get so sucked in that we stop recognizing what we are doing and whether that is even good or bad for us. So the same you would be doing on your charts. Sit at my desk, open my computer, open the charts, open the MT4, execute the trade. Wrong. Sit at my desk, neutral habit. Open the computer, neutral habit. Open trading view. Good habit, because you're about to analyze the market. Opening MT4, neutral habit. Executing, negative habit. Why are you executing before you analyze the market? We just have to really make that list and say, are there any gaps in my list? Should I be adding some habits or should I not? So this is where now exactly what you would build in terms of your new habits. So when you are building your new habits, remember that brain does not work in isolation. So before, when I have given you an example of police and the jail and this, and it just starts spiraling and you have, the whole notion of things that first this happened. So number one first happens, then three, then four, then five, and then, it's all connected together. This is how building new habits works as well, essentially. So when you have your list that when you wake up, turn off your alarm or sit at your desk and you do this and you do that, this is where I want you to make that list and say, number 1, I'm doing this. Number 2, I'm doing this, negative habit. Number 3, I'm doing this. Number 4, neutral habit. 5, neutral habit. 6, positive habit. So then I want you to look at that list and say, well, this is positive here. This is negative, looking at my phone. This is positive, so I need to remove this habit and just not, you don't have to replace it with anything, just move it. Then here, okay, neutral can stay, neutral can stay, positive can stay. And then if you want to build a new one, so let's say this was wake up, look at your phone, go to a bathroom, cold shower, so this would be positive. This would be water, so it would be positive, for example. This would be meditation, you would be positive. And let's say you want to work out, but at the moment after meditation, the first thing that you do is journal. 7. So then I want you to build your habits in between the action. So then if you look at your list and you say, well, we are removing this, but for example, we are replacing it with something else or just removing it. Or when you are looking between 5 and 6, you say, well, okay, after I do my meditation, I am going to journal. And I want you to write it for yourself or say it out loud. Because if you are going to say that, right, I'm going to start journaling, because we know the positives of journaling, especially from the perspective of cognitive psychology. So I'm going to start, journaling. And then you don't specify when, and you say tomorrow. But when tomorrow? The day will go by and your brain will either forget about it or you will say later. It will not know when it's happening. And because it's a new habit, it will be harder for your brain to engage in it. So this is when you say, after meditation, I straight away pick up my phone. And as I have quietened my mind, it is a great time to actually reflect on things on the day before or on the day ahead, etc., etc. So then when you will exactly say what you are doing and in what kind of sequence, and even at what time, if you want to be so specific, it is going to be so much better for you. So when I was building my morning routine, if I said, well, I need to do cold shower, and then I need to meditate, and I need to work out and do weights and push-ups and cardio, and then I also want to do another shower, and then this, and if I was just kind of doing it in terms like, I don't know what is happening when, and did not put structure to it, then obviously it would become overwhelming for me. If it becomes overwhelming for me, it becomes overwhelming for my brain. That's obvious. And if it becomes overwhelming to your brain, what will your brain do? Nah, alert, we're not doing it. It's too hard. I'd rather not to do it at all. And then people quit. This is essentially exactly why and what happens when we have New Year resolution. Okay, because with New Year resolutions, people do have those great intentions. People do want to lose weight. People do want to get to the gym. People do want to start their side hustles. People do want to become better traders. People do want to start paying attention to their mindset. But because they do not put those small steps into place, this is when it becomes overwhelming. So with our previous example from previous slide, we said 1 book per week, per month, right? So this is where, for example, in this list, you would say to yourself, oh, all right, this is the time that I do it. Or you would say, well, in the morning, I don't actually have time, but lunchtime, after I've eaten my lunch, I'm going to sit down for 10 minutes and read. And whether in 10 minutes I read 2 pages or 15 doesn't really matter. As long as I dedicate 12:50 every day, 10 minutes to my personal growth, that's fine, because you dedicating that 10 minutes to your personal growth every single day will compound into reading 10 books or even more per year, which is going to be way more than an average person that doesn't do it, or someone who's trying to cram it, and first month they are going to do the full book, and second month they're going to do another, and then they're going to lose their will because they're going to say, oh, do you know what, each time I need to read a book it takes like 5 hours. I don't have 5 hours to sit down, or I don't have 3 days to sit down and read it straight. Nobody's saying read it straight. Say read a little bit at the time. Every night when I get to bed, instead of looking at my phone, which it's So I'm just going to clarify. First thing when I get up in the morning, I do not look at my phone. First thing that I do now is switch off my alarm and put my phone on sleep mode. So I don't see any notifications pop up. So my phone doesn't make a peep, doesn't make a noise. And then I do my morning routine, which you know what my morning routine is. Then at the end of my exercise, when I have my shower again and then I get changed, this is why I look at my phone and I'm like, all right, I can start my day. And then I sit down and do analysis. And then after analysis, I read a little bit and then I continue my day and then I take a break. And then I may do other things like coaching, etc., etc. In the evening, when I get to bed, I wouldn't dare to scroll on my social media. But guess what? Every time I grab my phone and my brain is so used to it from the past that my brain is like, okay, grab the phone. And I literally unconsciously grab my phone and open the app. My finger goes and knows where the app is. Try doing this. Think about the app that you are using at the moment on your phone the most. TikTok, Instagram, Discord, whatever. Move the place of that app to another page and just different place. I guarantee you that for the first few days, your finger will be keep on clicking another app. It will be clicking the place where the app used to be because your subconscious will be dictating what you are doing. And that's how habits work. So I grab my phone and it's like, my brain's like, yeah, look at social media. And then I'm consciously keep on being on alert. And I'm like, no. And I put it down and I read. Whether I read one page, whether I read 10, depending on how tired I am, I tire myself out and I put the meditation on. And that is my evening. That is my perfect evening when I get to bed after shower, etc. So I want you to think about it that way. So I want you to make that list of your habits to acknowledge what you are doing. And I want you to acknowledge what you are doing in the markets, what it is in the markets that you do, i.e., I take a loss, I immediately want to execute another trade. I do this, I do that. You need to really recognize, because once you have that, you will be able to, make those changes for yourself. Now, habits are great. They really are, because they will help you to develop new things. And if you want, we can talk about habits more. I can do more research and we can talk about it more and more and more, because I really think there is this quote that says, people don't dictate their future, their habits do. Okay, so it is not really about you wanting something, because I tell you this, do you know what's the difference between loser and winner? I don't want to call anyone loser, but it's a quote from a book. So the commonality is that they have the same goal. Losers and winners have the same goal. So the traders who are on negative all the time and they expose bad behaviors in the markets, and those who are super disciplined, they both have the same goals. The only difference between them is the behaviors and the habits that they have. So the goals are very often very similar, but it's the behavior that follows it that is different. So whilst habits are really great, it is also about becoming and then doing. So I give you an example. If you do not identify with the new habits, okay, then it will be very hard for you to achieve your goal, essentially, because we are building those new habits to help you achieve your goals and to help you develop more positive habits, so you are more healthy in life, more positive in life, and you just develop those productive way of being, essentially. Okay, but if you don't believe it, how are you supposed to achieve it? And if you don't become it, then how are you supposed to do it? So I give you an example. If you want to become a funded trader, you want to become a funded trader with 100k account, but at the moment everything that you are focusing on is I'm broke. I'm broke, I don't have money. I'm stressed about money. I can't pay my bills. I can't. If you are going to want to develop new habits, you have to become what you believe. I'm managing my money well. Yes, I may not be liquid at the moment, but this is coming. I am very good at managing my money. I am very good at managing my trading account. I know exactly how I'm going to save my money, reinvest my money, what I'm going to do with my money, the expenditure for my family, for the pleasure, for the investments, for rainy day account. I know exactly how I distribute my money. I am in control of my money, and money is coming to me. You have to become what you set yourself out to achieve. Or if you are going to want to lose weight or gain muscle, let's say, and you keep on saying, oh, look, my muscles are not big enough. Oh, look, I still don't have muscle here. Oh, look, I still cannot lift 80 kg or whatever. If you will keep on doing that, you are still attaching yourself to the identity of the person of the lack that doesn't have it. But if you will say, I work out, I'm becoming stronger. I do work. I am an athlete. I am this. I am that. I am a consistent trader. I am a healthy person that goes to the gym. I am looking after my health. I am looking after my mindset. I am looking after my physical health. When you say those things, you are becoming it. And the more you say it, the more your brain will register it. Because remember, as we are talking about physical habits, what we are building into our life, we have the same in terms of our speaking habits. There are certain habits and certain things people say over and over again in certain situations. Might be swear words, might be certain sayings they say in certain situations, or might be certain self-criticism, self-critique, and self kind of pity sentences they say to themselves every time they lose in a market, every time they not analyze something well. And that is also a habit. So I urge you to change those habits. I urge you to speak about yourself positively. And I urge you to become the things that you want. Because studies have shown, according to James Clear, who has written the book on positive habits, that when you clearly say things of the people that you want to be or want to become, you are likely to follow those habits. So yeah, I'd give an example of a lady who would want to lose weight, and she would say to herself that she's an athlete. She's an athlete. She started working out at the gym and she's an athlete. And then not only that, when she had to make choices, she would ask herself, what would an athlete do in this situation? What would a healthy person say in this or do in this situation? Would an athlete eat a cookie right now? Would an athlete eat crisps right now at 9 p.m. in the evening? No. And I am an athlete, so I'm not going to do it either. Ask yourself the same question. Would a successful trader do this? No. Would the successful trader record their trades and track their data? Yes. So I'm going to do that. Would a successful trader review the markets every night? Yes. Would the successful trader just mindlessly get into the markets or be scared of the analysis? No. So become it and think about the things that you want to achieve and the person you have to become. And then ask yourself, would this person do it? Would a millionaire do it? Would a wealthy person do it? No, because if you look at wealthy people, yes, those who have millions and billions, maybe they are mindless with their spending, but every wealthy person I know, they know exactly where every single penny goes. They know, and they're not greedy. They are very generous people, and they would give you money just like that, but they will be aware because they are money conscious, because they have to be money conscious to attract money to them. So you really have to think about that. I also need you to think about those positives and negatives of habits. So this is something that traders especially fall into as well. And again, I'm going to give you example based on health. And this is, okay, smoking. So short term, so because to every habit, there's going to be negative and a positive. Okay. And James Clear actually says that there are not such things as bad habits or good habits, because even bad habits sometimes give us the benefit. That's why we stick to them. So this is the reason why we have to find effective habits with long-term effect on us. So in terms of cigarettes, for example, when you are stressed and you go out for a cigarette, in terms of short term, it relaxes you. Okay. But in terms of long term, it's obviously bad for you. So you have to look at that end result. In terms of trading, when you enter the market without really analyzing, or only because others have entered, or for whatever reason that is not or only because there is a strong momentum but it's not in line with your and this is a perfect example. So you enter the market because there is a strong momentum, it's not in line with your analysis, not in line with your rules, but the momentum is strong, so you enter because you just want to be part of it and you take profit. In terms of short term, yes, you got that profit. But in terms of long term, the more you're going to break your rules, you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve. Set on your rules and set on, how you have developed your data, etc., etc. So I really, really urge you to do all of those things. Okay. And I want you to really steer yourself away from bad habits. And the way that you can steer yourself away from bad habits is by actually calling them out and say, like I've given an example of the lady from James Clear's book saying, would an athlete do that? Would I do that? Would a successful trader just enter because they're angry? No. So then I'm not going to do that either. So when you do that, you bring it to your awareness, and then you are, engaging your conscious mind. And when you engage your conscious mind, then of course it all becomes a little bit better and easier. I say things to myself all the time, and really speaking out loud has helped me so much, because it's also part of my coaching job. And thanks to that, I have become a better trader, because before I used to analyze the market quietly, and then it became my habit to speak out loud as I'm analyzing the market. So whether there are 100 people watching my analysis or 0 people watching my analysis, I will speak exactly the same. Analyzing the market is just part of what I have started doing. And I would really urge you to do the same, because calling things out loud is actually really helpful. So I don't know whether you knew about this, but the bullet trains in Japan, they have very rigid system. What they do is they point and call. So they have series of things that they do before the train can take off, and the conductor and the people on the platform would perform certain series of things, and they would point and say, point and say, point and say, point and say. Then it goes to another person and they point and say, point, say, point and say. And that minimizes the mistakes. So there is an adapted version. So New York subway actually adapted the version. So instead of saying it out loud, they just started pointing at the things that have to happen before the subway can take off. And I think there was a data that came out that over 50% of accidents, minimized by 50%, the accident minimized by 50%. So this is something you could do for yourself. Once you develop yourself that list, point and say, is this, and that's why I tell you to speak to yourself out loud. Would I buy from here? Would I sell from here? Change of character happen. Sweep. I said I want to sweep. Sweep hasn't happened. Talk to yourself. Now, I feel like I said enough. I think I do, because my throat is hurting from talking. But most importantly, I really want to push you. I really want to push myself. I push myself, and I want to push you with me, and I want to review your progress. And of course, if I am aware of your goals and what you want to achieve, and we can set realistic milestones, I can help you to get there. If I'm unaware, it would be a little bit harder, but I can still do my job and motivate you, even if I don't exactly what your goal is. So what I'm trying to say is you are welcome to share your goals and milestones with me. And you can also keep them private, and I still will be here to support you. So please spend some time on this, thinking about this. And this is not something that's going to develop overnight. You may take, next 2 weeks to be observing your habits, to kind of recognize certain commonalities, but please do that. It's going to extremely help you. Thank you so much, guys, and have a beautiful weekend. And we have completed 1 week out of 52. Well done. And we have 51 more to go. Let's do this. Take care. Bye-bye.